The movie begins in the 1980s inside Freddy's restaurant, the very first restaurant designed specifically for children. It's full of games, entertainment shows, gifts, singing performances, puppet dolls, and a clown who appears at a scheduled time to sing for the kids. We see Charlotte sitting in front of the stage, waiting for the clown's show. At that moment, Vanessa comes to her and points out that there's still a long time before the clown appears, asking her to come sit with them. Charlotte listens to her and goes along. Suddenly, Charlotte notices from a distance a moving animatronic doll grabbing a child and dragging him outside the restaurant. She panics and runs to ask everyone for help, but they all ignore her and no one believes her. With no other choice, she decides to rescue the boy herself. Vanessa runs after her, trying to stop her, but Charlotte doesn't listen and continues chasing the animatronic. She enters the kitchen area and sees the boy and the person wearing the animatronic suit. She tries to stay quiet, so she won't be noticed. She slowly approaches the boy and tries to help him, but when she looks back to where the person was standing, he's completely gone. She becomes terrified, grabs the boy, and runs as fast as she can before the man returns. But it's already too late. He sees her, pulls out a knife, and chases her. She runs while he follows closely behind. She's just a few steps away from escaping the horrifying place and reaching the people outside. She manages to get out and reach the stage, where everyone is sitting, completely unaware. She screams at the top of her lungs, drops the boy, and collapses onto the stage. Everyone is horrified when they see the wounds on her back. She dies at that moment. Right then, the clown performance begins. The clown comes out from the same place Charlotte is lying, carrying her in his arms. From that day on, Charlotte's soul possesses a clown animatronic and lives inside it forever. The police spend years investigating the incident, but never reach any conclusions. Eventually, the case is closed and her death becomes a mysterious, unsolved mystery. After that, more children disappear in disturbing ways, leading to the restaurant being shut down and turning into a terrifying legend. 20 years later, we see Vanessa, and Mike calls her to apologize for not listening to her advice back then. She tells him she didn't sleep well the night before. He asks her about it and says he still gets nightmares to this day. She tells him she's adapted and accepted them as part of her life. Mike's sister Abby overhears the call and notices that Mike invites Vanessa out to dinner. After he hangs up, Abby hints that she understands his feelings for Vanessa, but Mike explains they're just friends and tells her not to overthink it. After Abby goes to school, Mike's friend Jeremy comes by and asks him about his relationship with Vanessa. Mike insists they're just friends going out to dinner normally. Jeremy warns him, saying Vanessa is crazy and that everyone in town says so since the incident. He tells him that his aunt goes around telling horror stories about possessed dolls that kill people, and now everyone believes it. Mike responds that all of this is just because of the festival and hopes the weekends quickly so people can return to their normal lives and stop believing in these myths. We learn that the festival is actually advertising for Freddy's restaurant. Even after close, the festival still happens every year, gathering children to celebrate it. Jeremy finds that strange and says people are truly obsessed with the restaurant story. He also mentions hearing that his aunt was admitted to a mental institution. Mike tells him not to bring this up in front of Abby, and that what she's been through over the past 2 years is more than enough. We then see Abby sitting with her friends, recounting the events of the first movie, how the dolls attacked her, how one stabbed her and tried to hurt her until her brother saved her, and how Foxy attacked her before Vanessa rescued her. She tells him that the yellow rabbit is the one controlling all of them, and that he is Vanessa's father. They ask her about him and what happened to him. She tells him he died in front of them, and that there are rumors his body is still hidden somewhere inside the restaurant in a secret place no one knows about. Later, Dania asks Abby if she would ever want to return to the restaurant. Abby says she wishes she could, but the animatronics are broken, and her brother promised to fix them soon. She's waiting for him to keep that promise. She asks Dania if he truly believes her, because she feels everyone thinks she's making things up. He reassures her that he believes in ghosts and spirits, so it's easy for him to believe that the animatronics are possessed and move on their own. At school, the teacher, Mr. Rigg, reminds them that they have a robotics project presentation next week and asks them to supervise it and present successful models to get full marks. Later, Daniel tells Abby he's surprised she hasn't tried fixing the animatronics herself, knowing she's capable of it. She doesn't respond because Mike had warned her not to go near that place again. At the end of the day, Mike prepares to meet Vanessa. He tells Abby to entertain herself while he's gone, watch TV or order food. She replies that if she gets bored, she'll visit her friends. He asks who she means, suspecting her school friends, but she confirms his fears and says she means the animatronics, Chica and the others. He calmly talks to her, reminding her that they already discussed this and that he warned her not to go back there. He promises her again that one day he'll fix the animatronics, but for now they're dangerous. He advises her to make real friends at school and not get attached to moving dolls. At the real restaurant, Mike sits with Vanessa, joking as they try to act normal in public after everything they've been through. We learn that Vanessa used to work as a police officer at the restaurant, and Mike was a security guard there after it shut down. They face the animatronics together and nearly lost their lives. Mike tells her that Abby misses the animatronics and truly considered them her friends. Vanessa reassures him that he's protecting her and wants what's best for her. She points out that he gives Abby hope when he promises to fix the animatronics soon. He changes the subject and asks Vanessa again about her nightmares, advising her to face them and surrender to them. He tells her he did the same when he kept dreaming about his brother, and it helped him. He believes it will help her too. He understands that her nightmares are connected to her father. When she says she can't do that, he tells her that this way she'll never be free from her father. Her father is William Afton, a partner in the restaurant, the creator of the animatronics, and the one who trapped the missing children's souls inside them and controlled them until he died. The scene returns to Mike asking her to reconsider his advice so she can live peacefully and normally, just as she wants. Later, Mike returns home and is shocked to find Abby missing. He finds a note she left, telling him she went to fix her friends by herself. Terrified, he rushes to Freddy's restaurant. He finds her there, staring at the abandoned stage. When she sees him and asks where they are, he tells her their parts are scattered everywhere, but she means the children's souls themselves. He comforts her, saying they'll always be in her heart. He tries to calm her down and make her relax a little. He tells her that she can point at anything she wants and take it with her. She notices a glowing box on the floor, goes toward it, and Mike tells her it's a toy that can talk and respond. He agrees to let her take it, and they both leave the place together. On the other side, a group calling themselves Ghost Hunters head toward Freddy's restaurant. Their curiosity pushes them to find out the truth and see for themselves whether the place is really haunted or not. They take their cameras and go there. They ask each other what really happened in this place. Their friend Lisa answers that a girl died in the restaurant, and since then it has been haunted. Suddenly, one of them holding the camera sees someone appear in front of him out of nowhere. They panic, but the man introduces himself as Michael. He lets them into the restaurant, pretending he wants to help them explore. We learn that Michael is Vanessa's brother, and Afton's son, the owner of the restaurant. From his behavior, it's clear he has bad intentions. He tells them that the restaurant used to be full of life, children, music, and shows. Lisa reminds him that there were puppet dolls too. He explains that the puppets were advanced for their time and were controlled by wires from a distance. One of them was a clown puppet that grabbed Charlotte, and her soul became trapped inside it. He tells him it was only one puppet, and no copies were ever made. He takes him to the stage and shows him the animatronics Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica. Lisa asks about Foxy, and he tells her that Foxy was destroyed, and they still haven't been able to fix him. They split up to explore the place. One of them uses a spirit detector near a flickering lamp. Suddenly the device is pushed away. He gets scared, steps back, falls into the water, and when he opens his eyes, a doll is right in front of him. He screams, asking how children ever came to such a terrifying place. Meanwhile, Lisa enters a secret room inside the restaurant. She finds a big gift-shaped box that slowly opens. When she looks up, a clown face appears from the ceiling and attacks her. She screams loudly. Her friends hear her scream and panic. Michael laughs. One of them asks him what he did. But before he can answer, a metal animatronic arm comes down from the ceiling and grabs him. The camera signal cuts off and falls to the floor. Their third friend stands in the water, holding a flashlight. He panics when he sees the doll move and fall into the water with him. When he shines a light below, he sees many clown faces appear. A whirlpool forms, pulls him in, the water turns red. The flashlight drops and he dies. Michael goes to the room where Lisa was. He finds the door half open. Inside, he sees Lisa from behind, sitting still as if she's hypnotized. Suddenly, she freezes. She turns toward him, and he realizes Charlotte's spirit has possessed Lisa's body. She chases him, but he manages to escape. The others are already dead. The next morning, Abby tries to work on her robotics project for school, but she can't build a robot by herself. She misses the spirits of her friends who were inside the animatronics and wishes they were there to help her. She holds the toy and calls out to them, hoping they'll respond. She tells them she misses them and needs them. Mike watches her from afar, worried and helpless. We then see Vanessa training at the gym. She hears a voice whispering, telling her to go faster. She closes her eyes and tries not to listen. When she opens them, she sees her father in front of her wearing an animatronic suit. She panics, closes her eyes again, and tells herself it's just hallucinations. But she feels he's controlling her. She obeys and speeds up. Suddenly a doll appears in front of her. She panics, leaves the gym, and runs to her room to rest. Someone grabs her. She pulls out her gun, but calms down when she realizes it's her friend. She leaves without explaining anything and goes home. She decides to follow Mike's advice and face her father. She spreads her toys around, closes the windows, turns on the TV for noise, and falls asleep. She enters her nightmare and finds herself in the same house. She slowly moves forward, calling her father. He appears. She tells him she's not afraid, doesn't need him, and will never be like him. This angers him. Doors start opening and closing by themselves. He comes toward her. She runs and tries to open the apartment door, but it's locked with many locks. She bangs on it, asking for help, but it's just her and her father. He tells her she will continue his legacy and that he loves her and prefers her over her brother. She refuses to listen. He pulls out a weapon and chases her. She runs, turning into a child again. He shouts that she has a mission he can't complete himself. She hides in the room where he used to build the animatronics. A large doll stands there. It suddenly comes to life and looks at her. When Vanessa steps back, her father appears in front of her, saying he will always control her. She runs, turns back into her adult self, becomes a police officer again, raises her gun, and shoots him several times until he falls from the second floor. She wakes up from the nightmare, finally having faced her father. At the same time, Abby is asleep and hears the toy calling her. She wakes up and hears a voice message asking her to come help them. She realizes it's Chica speaking to her. Abby asks where they are. Chica tells her to come and she'll guide her. Abby leaves without her brother noticing, takes her bike, and goes to the original Freddy's location. She calls out to them. Chica appears. Abby is happy, runs to her, hugs her, and says she missed them. Chica tells her they all need her help, but the most important thing is that they're together again. The next day, Vanessa goes to Mike's house and finds the door open. She goes inside and looks for Abby but doesn't find her. She sees the toy recorder glowing on Abby's bed. She reaches for it and gets scared when someone grabs her hand, but it's Abby. Abby jokes and shows her the robot she built for her school project. Vanessa is impressed and asks if she built it alone. Abby says Chica helped her and Freddy tried but failed. Vanessa hides her fear and calmly asks when and how she met them. Abby tells her she spent the night with them at the old restaurant branch. Vanessa is shocked. That place is where she grew up and where she lost her close friend Charlotte. It's a cursed place to her and the whole town. Later, Abby shows Mike her new drawings of the restaurant. Vanessa arrives and tells Mike they need to talk. Outside, she tells him that Abby said she met the animatronics. He doesn't believe her and says Abby is just talking to a toy. Vanessa insists it's real, but Mike says he's trying to leave the past behind and protect Abby. He explains Abby is lonely and clings to the animatronics as real friends. He admits he feels guilty for failing to save his brother, the children, and Charlotte. Vanessa is shocked and asks how he knows Charlotte. He explains that her father told him everything. We learn that Charlotte's father and Vanessa's father were partners who built the animatronics. Vanessa says she feels ashamed of her father. Mike says all he cared about was helping Abby and Vanessa heal. Vanessa feels hurt, realizing he saw her as a problem to fix. She tells him she doesn't need his help and leaves. Vanessa goes to the old restaurant to check if the animatronics are really broken. She feels watched and calls out to Charlotte. Charlotte responds through the speakers. She accuses Vanessa of coming to erase her soul. Vanessa says she won't let her hurt people again. Charlotte explains she escaped the box, but is still trapped in the restaurant and needs Vanessa's help. Vanessa admits she controls the animatronics with a secret code and refuses to help. She tells Charlotte she doesn't hate her, but she's in her way. She says someone else will help her. A noise comes from behind. Charlotte attacks Vanessa. Meanwhile, Abby presents her robot at the science fair. The teacher finds it simple, takes it, drops it, and it breaks. Abby is heartbroken. He says he'll still give her full marks, but she runs out crying. She goes to the restaurant, hugs Chica, and tells her what happened. Chica offers to be her project. Abby gets excited and grabs her hand, but Chica stops her and says, "You will help us." First, she takes Abby to the control room and tells her that there is a special code. If Abby types it in, Chica will be able to come with her and help her. Abby sits in front of the computer, but the code is unknown to everyone except Vanessa. In another place, we see Charlotte holding Vanessa hostage. Her hands are tied, and Charlotte is gripping the whistle around Vanessa's neck. She threatens her, saying that if she doesn't give her the code, she will kill Abby in front of her eyes. Vanessa tries to stay calm and tells Charlotte that Abby has nothing to do with any of this. She says, "I know you well. You can't hurt an innocent soul." But Charlotte replies that she's sure Vanessa will take the risk and accept the consequences. At that moment, Chica looks into the camera, waiting for Charlotte's orders. When Charlotte pressures Vanessa, she is forced to give the code. Chica gives the code to Abby to type it in, so they can break free from Vanessa's control and escape the place. The other animatronics gather and prepare. Once Abby enters the code, they finally become free. Chica tells Abby that she is their happiness. Abby takes Chica and puts her in a taxi so they can reach the science fair on time. Meanwhile, Mike goes to Henry, Charlotte's father. Henry tells Mike he has many questions and no one else to talk to. Mike reminds him that he once said his daughter died in the restaurant. Henry confirms that after her death, he searched for answers, and when many children disappeared like her, he realized it was a crime, and that Afton, his partner, was behind it. Mike tells him that his younger brother also died there. Henry says instead of taking it seriously, people turn the restaurant into a festival they celebrate every year. That's why Henry kept spreading warnings, saying the place is cursed. Mike notices a photo of children standing near a river. He remembers a drawing his sister made and asks where that place is. Henry tells him it's the main branch of the restaurant, Charlotte's favorite place. Mike realizes Abby is probably there and rushes to leave. Before Mike goes, Henry gives him a music box, explaining that Charlotte loved it and it helped her sleep. He asks Mike to take it with him, even though the request sounds strange. Mike agrees. Mike reaches the restaurant and finds Abby's bike outside. The door is locked, so he breaks in through a window. Inside, he sees the animatronics standing still, disabled. At the same time, Abby enters a science fair with Chica and presents her to Mr. Berg as her new project. Chica speaks and says, "I've heard a lot about you, Mr. Berg." Berg gets angry and yells at Abby, accusing her of joking and dressing someone in a costume. He throws her out. Abby apologizes to Chica, but Chica says she will handle it herself. We see Mr. Berg walking through the school halls when he hears a noise. Suddenly, glowing eyes appear. Chica smashes through the glass, attacks him, and throws him to the ground. He begs her to give Abby full marks. Chica grabs his head, crushes his skull, and kills him. Back at the restaurant, Mike searches everywhere for Abby. He opened a locker and finds Vanessa tied up inside. He frees her and asks what she's doing there and where Abby is. Vanessa tells him the animatronics took Abby and left. Mike says that's impossible because he just saw them inside. Vanessa explains those were only prototype models used for spare parts. The real animatronics are free and roaming the city. She tells him Charlotte is controlling everything and Abby is in danger. While moving to the control room, Mike asks if the children's souls are still there. Vanessa explains that only one soul remained, the marionette Charlotte. She explains Charlotte was filled with anger because no parents helped her when she was dying. Vanessa mentions a music box that once calmed Charlotte, but it was destroyed. Mike tells her Henry gave him one that could help. While talking, Mike accidentally falls into the river, but Vanessa quickly saves him. They reach the surveillance room. Vanessa tries to activate the tracking system and explains that Charlotte controls the animatronics wirelessly. Mike asks why Charlotte is doing all this. Vanessa says Charlotte hates the parents for abandoning her and wants revenge. Mike asks what that has to do with Abby. Vanessa explains Charlotte needs a human body to fully control, someone innocent and connected. She confirms all 4 animatronics escaped, but are weaker outside the restaurant. Mike insists he should handle the system, while Vanessa goes to distract Charlotte and buy time. Before leaving, Vanessa apologizes for hiding the truth. We then see Freddy walking among people during the festival. Children aren't scared because they think it's a costume. They invite him to a costume contest. Freddy says he'd love to join, but first has a mission, then jokingly says he needs to cut a few heads, which they think is part of the act. At the same time, Abby wins first place at the fair since Mr. Berg is gone, and the judges agree unanimously. Mike accidentally activates the prototype animatronics, but finally manages to activate the tracking system. He contacts Vanessa and tells her Freddy's location, very close to her. While Vanessa drives, an animatronic head suddenly appears at her car window. It smashes a glass, forcing her to crash off the road. The animatronic attacks her, but she fights back and escapes. Elsewhere, Freddy appears in front of family. Charlotte speaks through him, blaming the parents for abandoning her. Vanessa arrives, crashes into the house, and saves the family. Back in the control room, a prototype attacks Mike. He quickly puts on an animatronic mask, so it thinks he's one of them and leaves him alone. Another animatronic attacks, but Mike throws it out and sees all prototypes coming toward him. With no escape, he rushes to the computer to shut them down. We then see Bonnie with a little girl named Debbie. Bonnie later attacks Debbie's mother, telling the girl her mother doesn't love her. This is Charlotte speaking, not Bonnie. Just as she's about to kill them, Mike shuts down the signal in the last second. All animatronics stop. Mike tells Vanessa the good news, but one signal is still active. Vanessa realizes it's the marionette Charlotte herself, near Mike's house. Chica brings Abby home, but suddenly shuts down. A buzzing sound starts, and Charlotte emerges from her. Abby screams. Charlotte reactivates the animatronics. Mike rushes to the restaurant and calls out to the children's spirits, begging them to help save his sister. Vanessa runs to Mike's house and hears a voice calling her. She finds a voice recorder. Charlotte responds, pretending to be Abby. Suddenly, Charlotte appears, possessing Abby's body. Vanessa hides, but Charlotte chases her. Vanessa trips, and Charlotte reaches her. Vanessa begs her to leave Abby alone. Just before Charlotte kills her, Mike appears holding the music box. The music box that Henry gave plays, calming Charlotte. She moves away from Vanessa and leaves Abby's body. Mike runs to his sister, checks that she's okay, and helps her along with Vanessa. Suddenly, they find the rest of the animatronics standing in front of them, chasing them. At that moment, Michael enters, turns on the lights, and says, "Hey, sister, how are you? I missed you." Mike is shocked and asks her to explain what's going on. Michael steps in and says, "Let me guess. My sister never mentioned me or talked about me." He reassures them that this is normal for her since she's been like that since childhood. He introduces himself, saying he is Afton's son, and that he's here to continue his father's legacy. They then realize that Michael is the one who brought the animatronics back to life again. He tells Mike that his aunt played a big role by spreading stories and rumors about the restaurant, bringing people's attention back to it, so much that they even organized a festival. Because of that, the animatronics can now walk among people without anyone noticing. Michael tells them that before the festival ends, they will have already killed half of the population. Vanessa stops him and tries to convince him to live a peaceful life and not turn into a copy of his father. But he explains that this is impossible. They exist only to continue their father's mission. He asks her to help him and stand by his side, but she refuses and chooses to stand with Abby and Mike instead. At that moment, Michael orders the other animatronics to attack them. Suddenly, the original animatronics, controlled by the children's spirits, appear and attack the animatronics under Michael's control. They destroy them one by one. Michael tries to escape, but they stop him, including their old friend Jeremy. We then see the rest of the animatronics growing weaker, their systems shutting down one after another. Vanessa realizes and explains that their systems only function properly inside Freddy's restaurant. They were never designed to leave it. Suddenly, a boy appears in front of them and tells them that it's no longer possible for the children to stay inside the animatronics. He calls out to Mike and says, "From now on, we won't be able to stop Afton anymore. He will be able to escape, and he will be much stronger than before." Mike asks what he means, but the boy suddenly disappears. Mike then takes his sister and leaves the place. When he notices Vanessa coming after them, he stops her and tells her to stay away and that everything has gone far enough. In the final scene, we see Vanessa as Charlotte's spirit possesses her and enters her body. This video was written by Isra Siraj, recorded by Mohammed Taher, that's me, and produced by Ahmed Al-Arabi. Peace. The music box that Henry Gay plays, calming Charlotte. She moves away from Vanessa and leaves Abby's body. Mike runs to his sister, checks that she's okay, and helps her along with Vanessa. Suddenly, they find the rest of the animatronics standing in front of them, chasing them. At that moment, Michael enters, turns on the lights, and says, "Hey, sister, how are you? I missed you." Mike is shocked and asks her to explain what's going on. Michael steps in and says, "Let me guess. My sister never mentioned me or talked about me." He reassures them that this is normal for her since she's been like that since childhood. He introduces himself, saying he is Afton's son, and that he's here to continue his father's legacy. They then realize that Michael is the one who brought the animatronics back to life again. He tells Mike that his aunt played a big role by spreading stories and rumors about the restaurant, bringing people's attention back to it, so much that they even organized a festival. Because of that, the animatronics can now walk among people without anyone noticing. Michael tells them that before the festival ends, they will have already killed half of the population. Vanessa stops him and tries to convince him to live a peaceful life and not turn into a copy of his father. But he explains that this is impossible. They exist only to continue their father's mission. He asks her to help him and stand by his side, but she refuses and chooses to stand with Abby and Mike instead. At that moment, Michael orders the other animatronics to attack them. Suddenly, the original animatronics, controlled by the children's spirits, appear and attack the animatronics under Michael's control. They destroy them one by one. Michael tries to escape, but they stop him, including their old friend Jeremy. We then see the rest of the animatronics growing weaker, their systems shutting down one after another. Vanessa realizes and explains that their systems only function properly inside Freddy's restaurant. They were never designed to leave it. Suddenly, a boy appears in front of them and tells them that it's no longer possible for the children to stay inside the animatronics. He calls out to Mike and says, "From now on, we won't be able to stop Afton anymore. He will be able to escape, and he will be much stronger than before." Mike asks what he means, but the boy suddenly disappears. Mike then takes his sister and leaves the place. When he notices Vanessa coming after them, he stops her and tells her to stay away and that everything has gone far enough. In the final scene, we see Vanessa as Charlotte's spirit possesses her and enters her body. This video was written by Isra Siraj, recorded by Mohammed Taher, that's me, and produced by Ahmed Al-Arabi. Peace.